And it looks like we're going to finish the story How Fear Came from the Jungle Book. Basically, the first elephant was creating jungles, stamping his feet and what have you. He made the tiger the first judge of all the animals. Tiger killed somebody, tiger got fired. Made a monkey in charge. Monkey was just being stupid, so he got fired. Then he made Fear be in charge, be the judge of all the animals. And Tiger went to find out what the deal was with Fear, and he got stripey while he was doing it and freaked out. So, we will continue from there. So loud did he howl that Thaw heard him and said, "What is the sorrow?" And the first of the tigers, lifting up his muzzle to the new-made sky, which is now so old, said, Give me back my power, O Thaw. I am made ashamed before all the jungle, and I have run away from a hairless one, and he has called me a shameful name." "And why?" said Thaw. "Because I am smeared with mud of the marshes," said the first of the tigers. "Swim, then. Roll in the wet grass." "And if it be mud, it will wash away," said Thaw, and the first of the tigers swam and rolled upon the grass till the jungle ran round and round before his eyes, and not one little bar upon his hide was changed. And Thaw, watching him, laughed. Then the first of the tigers said, "What have I done that this comes to me?" And Thaw said, "Thou hast killed the buck, and thou hast let death loose in the jungle, and with death has come fear, so that the people of the jungle are afraid of one of the other, as thou art afraid of the hairless one." The first of the tigers said, "They will never fear me, for I knew them since the beginning." Thaw said, "Go and see." And the first of the tigers ran to and fro, calling aloud to the deer and the pig and the sambar and the porcupine and all the jungle peoples, and they all ran away from him, who had been their judge, because they were afraid. Then first the tigers came back, and his pride was broken in him, and beating his head upon the rock, he tore up the earth with his feet, and said, "Remember that I was once master of the jungle. Do not forget me, O Thaw. Let my children remember that I was once without shame or fear." And Thaw said, "This much I will do, because thou and I together saw the jungle made. For one night in each year it shall be as it was before the buck was killed. For thee and thy children, in that one night, if ye meet the hairless one, and his name is Man, ye shall not be afraid of him, but he shall be afraid of you, as though ye were judges of the jungle and masters of all things. Show him mercy in that night of his fear, for thou hast known what fear is." Then the first of the tigers answered, "I am content." But when next he drank, he saw the black stripes upon his flank and his side, and he remembered the name that the hairless one had given him, and he was angry. For a year he lived in the marshes, waiting till Thaw should keep his promise. And upon a night, when the jackal of the moon, the evening star, stood clear of the jungle, he felt that his night was upon him, and he went to the cave to meet the hairless one. Then it happened as Thaw promised, for the hairless one fell down before him, and lay along the ground, and the first of the tigers struck him, and broke his back, for he thought that there was but one such thing in the jungle, and that he had killed Fear. Then, nosing above the hill, he heard the coming down from the woods of the north, presently, the voice of the first of the elephants, which is the voice that we hear now. The thunder was rolling up and down the dry, scarred hills, but it bore no rain, only heat lightning that flickered along the ridges. And Hati went on, "That was the voice he heard, and it said, 'Is this thy mercy?'" The first of the tigers licked his lips and said, "What matters? I have killed Fear." And Thaw said, "O blind and foolish, thou hast untied the feet of Death, and he will follow thy trail till thou diest. Thou hast taught Man to kill." The first of the tigers, standing stiffly to his kill, said, "He is as the buck was. There's no fear. Now I will judge the jungle peoples once more." And Thaw said, "Never again shall the jungle peoples come to thee. They shall never cross thy trail, nor sleep near thee, nor follow after thee, nor browse by thy lair. Only Fear shall follow thee, and with a blow that thou canst not see. He shall bid thee wait his pleasure. He shall make the ground to open under thy feet, and the creeper to twist about thy neck, and the tree trunks to grow together about thee higher than thou canst leap. And at the last he shall take thy hide and wrap his cubs when they are cold. Thou hast shown him no mercy, and none will he show thee. The first of the tigers was very bold, for his night was still on him, and he said, The promise of Thaw is the promise of Thaw. He will not take away my night. And Thaw said, The one night is thine, as I have said, but there is a price to pay. Thou hast taught man to kill, and he is a slow learner. The first of the tigers said, He is here under my foot, and his back is broken. Let the jungle know I have killed Fear. Then Thaw laughed and said, Thou hast killed one of many, but thou thyself shalt tell the jungle, for thy night is ended. So the day came, and from the mouth of the cave went out another hairless one, and he saw the kill in the path, and the first of the tigers above it, and he took the appointed stick. They throw a thing that cuts now, said Ikki, rustling down the bank, for Ikki was considered uncommonly good eating by the Gonds. They called him Hogiglu, and he knew something of the wicked little Gondi axe that whirls across a clearing like a dragonfly. It was a pointed stick, such as they put in the foot of a pit trap, said Hati, and throwing it he struck the first of the tigers in the flank. Thus it happened as Thaw said, for the first of the tigers ran howling up and down the jungle till he tore out the stick, and all the jungle knew that the hairless one could strike from far off, and they feared more than before. So it came about that the first of the tigers taught the hairless one to kill, and ye know what harm that has since done to all our people. Through the noose, and the pitfall, and the hidden trap, and the flying stick, and the stinging fly that comes out of the white smoke, Hati meant the rifle, and the red flower that drives us into the open, yet for one night of the year the hairless one fears the tiger, as Thaw promised, and never has the tiger given him cause to be less afraid. Where he finds him, there he kills him, remembering how the first tiger was made ashamed. For the rest, Fear walks up and down the jungle, by day and by night. "Aye, ooh," said the deer, thinking of what it all meant to them. And only when there is one great fear over all, as there is now, can we of the jungle lay aside our little fears and meet together in one place as we do now. "For one night only does man fear the tiger?" said Mowgli. "For one night only," said Hati. But all the jungle knows that Shere Khan kills man twice and thrice in a moon." "Even so, then he springs up from behind and turns his head aside as he strikes. For he is full of fear. If man looked at him, he would run. But on his one night he goes openly down to the village. He walks between the houses and thrusts his head into the doorway, and the men fall on their faces, and there he does his kill. One kill in that night." "Oh," said Mowgli to himself, rolling over in the water. "Now I see why it was Shere Khan bade me look at him. He got no good of it, for he could not hold his eyes steady, and I certainly did not fall down at his feet. But then I am not a man, being of the free people." Said Bagheera, deep in his furry throat. "Does the tiger know his night?" "Never till the jackal of the moon stands clear of the evening mist. Sometimes it falls in the dry summer, and sometimes in the wet rains. This one night of the tiger. But for the first of the tigers, this would never have been, nor would any of us have known fear." The deer grunted sorrowfully, and Bagheera's lips curled in a wicked smile. "Do men know this tale?" said he. "None know it except the tigers, and we, the elephants, the children of Thaw. Now ye by the ponds have heard it, and I have spoken." Hati dipped his trunk into the water as a sign that he did not wish to talk. But, said Mowgli, turning to Baloo, "why did not the first of tigers continue to eat grass and leaves and trees? He did but break the buck's neck. He did not eat. What led him to the hot meat?" "The trees and the creepers marked him, little brother, and made him the stripe the striped thing that we see. Never again would he eat their fruit, but from that day he revenged himself upon the deer, and the others, the eaters of grass, said Baloo. Then thou knowest the tale, hey? Why have I never heard? Because the jungle is full of such tales. If I made a beginning, there would never be an end to them. Let go my ear, little brother. And that is the end of How Fear Came.